Welcome to the Farm.ily. George and I were going to talk to you about what happened today. We had already went out and done all of our morning chores. We went out, checked all our sheep. Everybody looked great. Checked the cows. Everything was going really good. And then right before lunch, we decided to run back out, and we had a little heifer that we wanted to catch. We were going to get her put up in the corral so that her new owner could come get her tomorrow. As we were headed out, we looked across the pond and we noticed there was something just not right, so we ran over there real quick. And when we got there, all we could see was the head poking out of the ice from one of our heifers that we were going out to check on. Wasn't really sure what to do, so Owen was coming out. Luckily, he had the axe with him on the four-wheeler. I don't know if we have that on video, but we'll see. And I couldn't get out on the ice because it was just breaking underneath me. How she got out that far, I don't know, because we had just been out there right before that. So Georgia went over, got me a piece of plywood. I tried to use it to get out, but as you can see, I fell through the ice. So I took the axe, we used it, we cut everything back to the bank the best I could, went back out to the cow, broke the rest of the ice. As you can see, it was up to about here on me. And the cow was not quite able to touch, so she just had her head laying up on top of the ice, kind of holding her up. So Georgia, I got her back close to the bank, then Georgia came out, and she helped me get it all the way up on the bank, and then we finally got it out of the water.
So he was kind of pushing the cow from behind. So what happened was I ended up having to jump in the water with him. And while he was pushing, I was having to help lift the cow up because she was just so cold, guys. It was hard for her to really get to moving around well.
And she probably weighs about 500 pounds.
Yeah, so she's a decent sized cow. I mean, more than we can lift. So I'm up trying to pull her onto the land and get her back onto the bank while he's pushing from behind, and we are both just drenched in water.
So the funny part to the story is we actually sent Owen inside to go grab some towels and try to get us some stuff that we knew we would need. And when he came running in the house, instead of saying there was a cow in the water and Dad's trying to get it out, he's like, hey, Dad fell through the ice and is in the pond. So needless to say, everybody in the house took off and they came out to try to help us. But fortunately, I had not fallen through quite like he had said. So we were able to get her brought out, get her to the bank. We finally had to kind of tie my side-by-side to her, finish dragging her out up onto the bank. We got her behind the pond. As you're going to see in the video, we took some straw and hay, rubbed her down, got her dried off, and was trying to get her moving up pretty good.
So we quickly realized that just getting her out and warm, just drying her off wasn't enough because it's freezing today. I mean, it was starting to snow while we were out there. So we went and I stayed out with her with Mel and my mom, and we kind of just kept drying her, talking to her, keeping her up and going. He ran back to the house and he got the trailer and the truck. So he actually brought that out. I ended up back at the house getting the tractor, and then Owen brought the rhino out. So it kind of looked like a parking lot out there. We had so much stuff going on. And we finally got her moved into the trailer where we just had some more hay bedded down and we could kind of get that wind off of her. And that just really, really helps to take the chill off. I mean, I was soaking wet, and just even getting in that trailer and getting the wind off and kind of dried off helped tremendously.
Yeah, because we were definitely cold. The water was frozen. We were able to go to the vet. We were able to get some of the supplies that we needed to try to get her up and going. She got a heavy dose of antibiotics because, as you can see in the video, her head definitely went underwater. So we know she had some stuff in her lungs. And then we also got her some steroids. Try to get those in her to kind of give her a boost of energy and get her body kicking back in because she was definitely cold. I know I was in the water for probably about 7 minutes. And my hands, I couldn't feel them at all. And so I know if I was that cold, that she had to be a whole lot colder than me.
Oh, yeah.
They can handle so much more.
And we typically try to avoid using the steroids and antibiotics with our cows. Like, we don't just give those to the cows for no reason. We rarely even use that type of stuff at all unless it's just you have to. So this would be a cow we'd never actually eat ourselves. And she was supposed to be going to a new home tomorrow where they were just going to put her out in the pasture, and she's going to be one of their cows that they were going to breed and get some babies from. So that is something we would never eat, though.
Exactly.
But she will have just for babies and stuff like that. But yeah, we definitely don't eat that type of stuff, and we try to avoid that with our cows as much as we can. But when push comes to shove, you do what you have to do to try to keep stuff alive. I mean, that's just how farm life works.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating because I think the part that frustrates me the most is she would normally not be out where she was, but we had sold the other heifers that she was with last week, and a cow just does not do good by herself, so we had put her back in where her mom and all of the other cows were at, so she just wasn't used to the pond. And on the other side of the pond, we didn't show you, but there was holes where we had cut it where the cows can go and get water, and she had just went to the wrong part and didn't realize it was frozen and just wandered out on it and then finally fell through. I'm really amazed that she even went out that far, because as you saw when I was going out, it was cracking pretty bad, and how she got out that far, I just don't understand.
Yeah, it was kind of just amazing how far she got out. I was like 4 foot from the bank, and it was really starting to crack underneath me, and she's a lot bigger than me, so her getting out that far was definitely kind of strange.
Yeah, so right now she's out in the trailer. We've got heat on her, covered up in straw and everything else, and we're just going to give her some time, let everything kick in. She just got really cold. Hopefully we can get her through this. And this is what the wife and I talk about. This is what we call the ugly side of farming. It just happens. There's nothing we can do about it. It's horrible. We use our pond because of our field is so long and so far out. That's how we water our cows out there. They are completely used to it when they're up by the house or in the other field. Then we use a water tank. But this particular field, we definitely have to use the pond, and it was just really a bad situation. She went out that far. The pond is shallow enough the cows can actually kind of walk across it. She just hit the deepest part, and it was just stuck there. She couldn't have been out there for too long, because we had just been out there a little bit ago and had checked up on her.
So you'll kind of see in the video that everyone ended up coming out. So Glori, she doesn't live here anymore. They have their own awesome farm. But she ended up coming over and helping out. Mom came out. You know it's a big deal if Mom comes out, because she's not a huge fan of being outside or the animals, and she hates the cold. So for Mom to come out on a cold day, you know something is up. Most of the kids were out there. Owen and Sadie were out helping. Owen was bringing supplies back and forth between the house. You'll see him. He was on the tractor at one point, the rhino. He was kind of a little bit of everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we all were. We were kind of hopping back and forth. Mel and Mom started yelling at me and him, we need to get back to the house and change. Especially Mel. She's like, she beat me with a sock, guys.
You know, but as you saw, Owen's 9 years old. He drove the four-wheeler. He jumped on my side-by-side. He jumped on the little tractor. We definitely teach our kids to drive and how to do things, because we don't know when something's going to happen, and we're going to need the help. I'm really hoping through the video, though, you see how much we care about these animals. I mean, because it's not the money. It's we just believe if you're going to have animals, you got to take care of them, whatever it takes. You know, if you don't have the money to get them to a vet, you need to get rid of them. You know, you need to be able to provide and take care of them. And we take that super serious. Otherwise, you definitely would not have seen me out that deep in water, because it was definitely cold. I had my brand new boots on. They're full of mud. There's a mess at the house. We probably will go buy 6 or 7 new towels. I mean, we lost a lot of stuff trying to do what we did. And it just really makes for a bad day, because we definitely had other plans today.
And like he said, this is the ugly side of farming. I know, like on Instagram, on Facebook, YouTube, all the time, all you see is the pretty. You don't see the mud, you don't see the ice, you don't see when something happens to animals, when you are out in the middle of the freezing cold weather, trying to save animals and just working with this type of stuff. I mean, we're out there in the winter. It is definitely more work in the cold than it generally is in the summer. We're out feeding hay all the time, I had to break ice generally at least twice a day. And I know a couple days ago, ice was this thick. You have to break that twice a day. And every time you break it, it just gets thicker because more water comes on top of it.
And I think 95% of people would never show a video like this. We just want people to see what happened. I mean, because it happens. It's going to happen. You can't stop it. There'll probably be some people who are critical and say you could have done this and you could have done that, but you know, we're the ones doing it, not them.
Well, and we did the best we could in the moment and for what was happening. We did what we thought was best at that time, and I mean, I'm not unhappy with anything we did. We're trying. I mean, that's the best you can do. You can try. Whether you're new to farming or you've done it for forever, you've always got something that's going to come up. Something new always is going to happen because farming is an experience. There's nothing like it. Nothing can prepare you for it. No matter how many books you read, videos you watch, it is definitely a hands-on learning. You learn as you go.
And I definitely want to say that has never happened before. We've never had a cow get out on ice. We've just never had it. We worked really hard to keep it broken. And, you know, if we thought it was a problem, we would have moved them to another field. It was just one of those accidents that happened that we're not sure what we could have done.
Well, and like 99% of our cows are generally out there. And I mean, we have 4-month-old calves who know, because they are on the mom side, that teach them, especially the older cows, you just don't walk out on the ice. So this one, it was just a kind of a freak thing where she wasn't used to the pond, and she was just used to a small tank where she could kind of do what she wanted. I mean, even if she did get in it, it's all this tall. I mean, it wouldn't hurt her in any way, versus this is definitely something totally new. But like, even our calves, they learn at such a young age. You just stay off the pond. The moms teach them, they're by their side until we wean them off. So it was just kind of a freak thing that happened today.
So what happened is, right now going forward, we've got the calf. We gave her the medicine that we could. I ran up the road. We have a vet who's about 4 or 5 miles from here. They're great to work with. I went in, I'm like, hey, here's what happened. Showed them the pictures, and you know, they gave me everything that we needed to give to them. He said there's no need for him to come out. There's nothing that he could do that we haven't done. We did put it in the trailer, trying to get it out of the wind, get her in a small area. We do have a propane turbo heater blowing on her, just trying to get her that extra heat, and we're just going to give her time. Don't know if you see it in the videos, but people were praying over the cow. We do pray for our animals. We pray for each other. You know, because we believe that God can help us, and He does help us. And so we definitely did that, and really now it's just a waiting game to see how she does. She may make it, she may not. We just don't know. It's just part of what we do. We just do the best that we can do with what we have at the time. And like I said, sometimes it just doesn't go as planned. It's the ugly side of farming.
And we'll just give her some time and see how she perks up and what she does. Like he said, we're going to pray over her a lot and just keep praying that God either just takes her or He lets her live. Sometimes you do not want them to suffer, so that's something we really believe in here.
Definitely.
Is letting them suffer for an extra 3 days so you get that extra time with them is not worth it. Like, that puts them through pain. That is just hard. That's hard on them and me. Like, I can't stand to watch something suffer if I know it's not going to pull through. And I know I hate to say this, we've had to make that hard choice before on certain things.
So I really think that covers most of what's going on right now. We will get this out to you guys so you can see what's happening. And we'll just try to keep it updated as we go. If you have questions, go down to the comments, post a question. We will do the best that we can to answer it. Okay. So what happened today, Owen? What did you see?
The cow fell in the pond, and when my dad was trying to get it, he fell in the pond. And then when they were trying to get it out, my sister had to hop in the pond.
And what were you doing?
Helping.
What were you doing?
Driving back and forth, getting things that they needed.
Yeah, what'd you go get?
Towels, clothes, tractors.
And what all did you drive?
A tractor, rhino, four-wheeler.
So when you came in, what did you tell Mom?
Actually, nothing.
Nothing. You just said, hey, I just need a towel?
Yeah,
And tell him. What'd you tell him?
that Dad fell in and we needed a whole bunch of towels.
So what was your experience today?
Yeah, today wasn't a very good day. So I was in the kitchen on the phone with somebody, having a great conversation, when in came Owen yelling that Dad fell through the ice at the pond and they needed warm clothes and warm blankets. So I told somebody that I needed to go right away, and I hung up that phone, and I came in and told one of the girls who was here working that Jeff fell through the ice. So she headed outside, and I had to grab some warm clothes and get some blankets and towels, and then we loaded up the gator, and Owen took off without me. So he left with the blankets and the towels, and I thought that our friend who's here working, I thought she left in her truck to head out to the field, so I walked. So I walked all the way out there to see what was going on, and when I got out there, I did not arrive to a very good situation. So farm life is hard, and as you've heard me say, people tell us that we're living the dream, and sometimes I say that living the dream is different than dreaming the dream.
And the funny part is, by the time she got out, she did not see everything that had happened. She only saw the calf on the bank and us standing up there wet. And so she had not seen everything that had happened before that.
Yeah, I had not seen Jeff in the water, so that was probably a really good thing that I did not see that, because I probably would have been one hot wife at that moment. So I did not see that, and that was good. So I did see the cow up on the bank, and I saw the kids up there, so I didn't see any of that. So I didn't actually get to experience what had actually happened prior to me getting out there until I saw it on video. And so that kind of turned my afternoon a little upside down and inside out, because seeing him and then watching how long the video was, he was in the water over 8 minutes. I was like, that was a lot of God's grace right there, keeping him warm. And before I had gone out, actually, when I was looking for the towels, I threw some towels in the dryer. And so I grabbed the kids that were in the house, and I said, we need to pray for Dad right now. And so I didn't know it then, but that was at the time that Jeff would have been in the water. And he was like all the way up past his chest in ice cold pond water. And we just stopped and we prayed right then that God would just keep him safe and warm his blood. And I really don't have a doubt that that is what happened, because when I got out there, Jeff was up and out of the water, but it was a long time before he was actually able to get dried off and get back to the house. So yeah, hypothermia should have definitely set in that cold of temperatures for that amount of time. So yeah, God answers prayer all the time. So definitely living on a farm, as Jeff says, has its good days and its bad days. And you never dream of a day that you go out in freezing cold weather and watch your husband and one of your kids be in freezing cold water and wondering like what they are thinking. But they do what they feel called to do, and that is taking care of the animals that God has given us. And so while those animals on our farm, they're part of our family, and so they do absolutely everything they can to take care of those animals and to protect them and to do whatever they can to save an animal when it's within our control. And so they did that today, and they're here and warmed up. And so I'm happy that all ended as well as it did, and that definitely God kept them safe and protected them today. So we just do what we're called to do, and that's taking care of the things that God has given us.
So when I buy something next week, guys, and she's mad at me, we're bringing this up.
Yeah, no, we're not bringing this up. We're going to bring up that they are going to be responsible stewards of what God has given them. We'll see you guys next time at the Farm.ily. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel. Comment down below. We would love to answer any questions you have about what went on today. Jeff and Georgia both will be jumping on to answer your questions. So make sure to leave us some comments, and check us out over on Facebook and Instagram. We'll have some great photos going on over there as well. But once again, thank you guys for being part of our Farm.ily today, and until next time, we'll see you again soon.